What's up? It's Jordan from FitAF. I am trying out a different camera angle today. We will see what we think. I had a bunch of papers and notes and my laptop here, and I was trying to look a little more studious, but the camera cut it out anyway, so that was a wasted effort. Anyways, what are we talking about today? Today we are looking at the optimal meal frequency for body composition change, weight loss, and muscle building. So let's begin. In the mid to late 2000s, it was heavily advised by especially the bodybuilding community to eat more frequent meals, smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day. And the thought process behind this was that it would have some sort of thermogenic effect and increase the metabolism and overall increase energy expenditure. So this was heavily proposed. I know I did it. I was eating 8 to 10 meals a day back in 2006 to 2010 when I really started getting into this stuff. And I thought it was the thing to do. So what do we know now? We know that there is absolutely no difference between eating 1 meal a day and eating 10 meals a day on energy expenditure at all. It doesn't matter. So this was clearly shown in a meta-analysis done by Brad Schoenfeld and a few other people. I think it was back in 2016 or 17, but they took, so a meta-analysis, they basically take all of the literature on a single topic, combine it, and find conclusions once they put all the statistics together, and can usually draw some pretty firm conclusions. However, nothing is ever set in stone in science. So they took about 15 studies, and their aim was to look at the effect of meal frequency on body composition change, weight loss, muscle building, and muscle retention. And what did they find? They found that there was zero difference in any of the factors I previously mentioned between people who consumed 1 meal a day all the way up towards 6 meals a day. There is no difference in body composition change, weight loss, rate of muscle growth, or rate of muscle retention during a weight loss period when there's no difference between any sort of meal frequency. So that kind of leaves things open-ended. So does that mean that any meal frequency is ideal? Yes and no. We have a little more data that shows specifically 3 to 6 meals is probably ideal. One, from a appetite control and satiation point of view. People eating between 3 and 6 meals tend to feel better throughout the day. Think of if you're eating 2,000 calories throughout the day. If you're eating 1 meal a day of 2,000 calories, you're going to be thinking of that meal all day. And I get it, some people do this. We'll talk about fasting after. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, what if you're eating 10 meals at 200 calories a day? You're gonna be grazing all day. You're never gonna be really full. You'll always kind of be thinking about food. So appetite control is something to think of. 3 to 6 meals tends to have the best regulatory effect on appetite control, but also it seems to have the best effect on muscle protein synthesis. So this is not concrete, but there's theoretical data that basically says consuming protein in a decent quantity, 20 to 40 grams, between 3 to 6 times per day seems to have the best effect on muscle protein synthesis and building muscle. And this theoretical data is enough for me to at least say, okay, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense from a few different point of views, and that for that reason, I choose to eat between the 3 to 6 meals. Also, it's convenient for me. So I generally have 3 meals and a snack or 2. So what is the take home of this? Aside from, one would be whatever is whatever is easiest for you is ideal. So what's the take? So what's the take home on this? Okay. 3 to 6 meals per day seems to be the best in terms of appetite control and stimulating muscle protein synthesis. Aside from that, we also know that having a similar feeding schedule on a day-to-day basis seems to have some sort of So what is the take home of this? Okay. 3 to 6 meals per day seems to be best in terms of regulating appetite as well as stimulating muscle protein synthesis. Aside from that, we also know that keeping similar feeding times is more ideal. And this is probably because the body gets used to certain feeding schedules and it allows it to be more efficient in the digestion process and get used to a stable eating pattern. So what is the take home message? So what is the take home message?